Eric Alexander, Six Arrows Consulting. I'm down in Lubbock today, came down from Amarillo to spend some time with friend and colleague, Brett McDowell. Through our banking career, we've intersected several different times in different ways, and along the way, developed some mutual respect and rapport, and he's got a neat endeavor going on here in Lubbock, and we were having a conversation a while back ago that I want to explore a little bit, but first, thank you for taking time for this.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. It's always great to see you, and I'm really excited for what you're doing with Six Arrows. This is really important for the community banking industry, and you certainly know what you're doing.
Well, thank you. That's very gracious. We had a conversation last time I was down here, and I don't even remember how we got to the conversation, but it was about discussions you have with your folks about their performance. And obviously, as the CEO of the organization, you're responsible for the outcome and the results y'all deliver, and it's about people delivering that. You were describing to me the conversations you have and some of the questions you ask. Fascinating. Would you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so first of all, our process is our own when it comes to evaluating our performance and talking about where we're at as an organization. And obviously, those are one-on-one conversations first. So what we've come up with, and we're a small bank, so we can do these things still, and we sit down and we have at least 2 meetings a year with every senior leader of the company, and expect that gets relayed down to the staff and throughout other parts of the organization.
So you're doing this one-on-one with your
right.
direct reports.
Right. So we have a series of questions that we ask. They're designed to be open-ended, and it's really just an opportunity for them to talk to me, and I allow that to just take place naturally. I try not to interject too much, and it's phenomenal the amount of feedback we get that benefits our culture out of that.
Good. As you were describing it to me, you described 2 sets of questions and then one kind of bonus question. I don't know if you consider it that way, but an interesting question you ask at the end. So talk through that.
Yeah, so we start with the individual telling me what they think they're doing right, and that's an open-ended process, and there's a kind of a unique way to go about that. I won't go into all those details, but the other side of it is then, please tell me 5 things or something that you can do better. And we just take that in, and I don't say a whole lot. The next part of the process is with the executive team as a whole and the board. And then we get to the end and really give an opportunity at the very end. Kind of the grand finale is that they get a chance in a place that's completely confidential and just between the CEO and the senior leader, they get to talk about one thing that we think we're doing really, really well, or maybe that thing is something we really need to improve on, or something that we're not seeing around the corner to see.
So he went over this pretty quickly. I want to come back and touch on it a minute, and then touch on that last question.
Sure.
You talked about you as a CEO and the executive team and the board. You're asking for the team's feedback on how you're doing, how the leadership team's doing, how the board's doing.
Right.
Do you find people giving you feedback on that?
Yeah, I do. I think it's a little bit of a innovative process, so to speak, and nobody likes, in my experience, the old performance analysis or annual review or whatever you want to call it. What we really want to create is an environment where everything that we do is productive, and again, to the end of improving our culture. So they get to talk to me about how I'm doing, and that's not fishing for comments or anything like that. I'm looking for some very critical thoughts that come along with that, and it gives us a real chance to have the dialogue that results in better leadership.
Good.
But back to the board and the other members of the executive team, we want to know what's going on, and if we have any departmental weaknesses or process workflow issues, we'll find that in that conversation.
Good.
So as we grow, we're small. We may have to change some of this. We'll become more formal. But if we can keep some element of what we're doing right now, I think it's really beneficial.
Good. You want to describe that final question you asked? The way you phrase it is interesting to me.
Yeah. So the final question is called "Let It Fly." So that's that area. It's like, I'm not kidding you. Like, let it go. Like, if there's something you have on your mind, I want to hear it. And this goes nowhere but this room. Let's talk. And so it's pretty interesting. We've had some funny answers come out of that. We've had some really critical moments of like, wow, we need to do this better, whatever this is. Or we identify maybe some interpersonal things that we can work on that may not be as big an issue, but that one thing is there for everybody, and they're either really excited about something or there's something that's kind of been bothering them, and then we can work on it.
I like that. One of the things that strikes me about how you word that question is it's kind of disarming of, come on, what else is pressing? Just let it fly. Tell me. Don't hold back. And it sounds like it's been fruitful in eliciting some good comments.
Yeah, and I think that's the product of having really good people around us. We're really proud of the team that we've all assembled together. It's not about one person or one ego or anything like that. It's a complete collective team effort to build this culture here. And
great.
And I think it's going really well so far.
That's good. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I'm going to pull somebody else into the conversation here in a minute. We're going to swap the microphone out, but thank you so much for taking time for this.
Yeah, of course. Great to see you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Great. Thank you. So we'll get somebody else in here to sit in his seat, and I'm going to ask what they thought being on the other side of the conversation. Okay, here we are. Brett's now emptied the chair. We've got Morgan Contreras here. She works for the bank, and she's been here about 7 months, I'm about to say 7 years, but good extensive banking experience before that. And she's been through that process one time, and I thought it'd be really interesting to hear a perspective from somebody who was on the other side of that conversation. And Brett said, I'm not even going to stay in the room for this. I want you to feel comfortable to say whatever you want to about it. My question is really, having gone through that conversation, how did that feel to you? That series of questions.
Yeah, that I really enjoyed it. You know, you've gone through many reviews before, and it's been very formal. And you know, this is what I thought about you. These are good and bad, or this is what you can work on. But Brett's way of doing it was more of him interviewing himself and allowing me to give me the space to review myself as well. So it really gave me the opportunity to self-reflect on ways, you know, things I'm doing good or things I'm doing bad. And then if he had anything to elaborate on that, he did, very minimal. But then also on the flip side of that, it gave me the opportunity to, you know, discuss with him ways that he could be better or things that I really enjoyed working here.
Good. Was that difficult for you to give feedback on him?
It was, because he's really a great person.
But you gave him some positive feedback.
I did, yes.
Okay.
And
did you give him some, hey, it would help if you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Well, good.
And that was nice because, you know, a lot of times you don't get that opportunity. It's, you know, kind of like, you know, I don't know. I'm not much of a rancher, but, you know, you have to brand cows and you kind of get them in and out. And sometimes it feels that way when you're in, you know, one of those reviews.
You didn't feel like you'd been branded this time?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Heat and scorching and pain and bellowing and none of that.
Yeah, or it's like, you know, you're sweating before you have to go in and you're like, oh my gosh, I hope my review's good. You know, what are they going to say? So it wasn't like that at all.
Well,
good. Very nice.
Good. I think it's interesting too that he, instead of him coming in with a list of, Morgan, you need to work on this, 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 and this, that he asked you to come with your list. Do you think he was surprised by any of the needs improvement topics you brought up?
There was one that, like for myself.
For yourself. And don't tell me what it is. I'm
asking
about the question topic.
Yeah. Well, I'm very critical of myself. So he, if anything, he was like, give yourself grace, because I'm like, because I can tell you all the things I need to be better at, because I'm the first to say I can always be better. So I think he probably expected some of that because he knows I'm very critical of myself.
Sure.
And then,
that may be one of the things you need to work on.
Yes,
right?
Probably.
Could be?
Yeah, there you go.
You can put that on your list for next time.
Yes.
Well, good. And how about that last question? And don't tell me what your answer was, but that let it fly, that just strikes me as fascinating.
It was kind of like well, we're at the end of it anyways. So if there's anything, speak now. It's an open space, you know, it's fully, you know, confidential. So it really gives you the opportunity to think. And like he said, good or bad, and it's okay if you don't have anything. But I really want you to, you know, be honest. Is there anything else, you know, good or bad that we could do better? Is there anything bothering you? So it was really nice to have that open space.
Good. Anything else you'd want to add?
I just really have enjoyed Victory Bank. I love it. I love Brett's leadership. The whole executive team's great. It's been quite, pleasant, and I just really love the open communication.
Good. And this is an example of it.
Very, yes.
And also, just think about it. Me videoing an interview with both of you, and his willingness to let
Yeah.
you, with him out of the room, give some comments on one of his management practices.
Mhm.
That's pretty vulnerable and transparent and humble.
Yes.
So kudos to Brett.
And even when he asked me just if I would be willing to do this, he said, good or bad, say whatever you want. This is your floor. So
Good. Okay.
just another
Well, it's
example.
my floor too. We're going to share the floor.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, this has been special. Morgan, thank you for making time for that. Lots of good stuff to think about. Thanks for listening.
Can you hear me?
Let's see. Yeah, don't
Can you
don't
hear
do
me?
that. Do like you're going to normally do.
Let me put this.
No,
put this higher.
don't talk. Yeah, we'll try it. Okay, now that we've quit fiddling with it.